So as Valentine's Day is coming up, I feel like it's very fitting and very important for me to put out a video talking about what I've observed when it comes to relationships and why they don't work out. What is the reason why I get with this person and then all these things later start coming out? Why do I keep attracting people like this, and why are they acting the way they act? Let me tell you. So, in this video, we're going to go over spiritual baggage, which I believe that everybody has. Everybody has traumas, life karmas, and a self-concept that may not be working for themselves, and it's showing up in their activities with you. So what I mean by that is everybody carries on this baggage, and basically, like, if the person feels worthless, they're going to operate out of worthlessness in your relationship. Meaning, like, if this person is subconsciously thinking, I'm worthless, I don't deserve them, I don't even know how I'm maintaining this relationship with them, they're going to start cheating on you, lying to you. They're going to start doing things to it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're going to prove to you in themselves that I'm worthless, I don't deserve you. And you have to be able to notice that. If they joke about like saying like I'm worthless or I'm nobody, or like they down themselves a lot, you have to be able to notice that, because we have these conscious eyes that can see, oh, they're very attractive and they're funny and we hang out and the sex is good and all this stuff is good. But you have to develop your very undeveloped spiritual eyes to notice, like, this person doesn't feel good about themselves. And if they don't feel good about themselves, how long is it going to be until they start mistreating me? Because they can't give me what they don't have. And then also too, if they are playing this role subconsciously of a worthless person, they're going to act out that role like an actor. It's like the script in their mind is be worthless, cheat on them, lie, be manipulative, gaslight them. So they're going to act out in that way. On the contrary, if the person is confident and secure, they're going to be more honest with you, because what do they have to lie about? And then they're going to want to develop their relationship with you and be honest and true, because they're confident. They don't need to be this other person. They don't need to lie. Well, they don't need to gaslight you. They just are secure and happy in who they are. They feel beautiful and handsome, that they're okay. They don't need to do all that. And you have to be able to notice that in your partner. Are they confident, or do they have this mindset of worthlessness? It's very dangerous when the person feels like they're not good enough for you. That is very, very dangerous, because they're going to act in that way. And it also goes both ways. If your self-concept is messed up and you're carrying that script of worthlessness, you're going to attract a narcissist. You're going to attract somebody to manipulate you, because you spiritually are going to fulfill that prophecy of I'm worthless, I need to people please, I need to be in this relationship that's going to make me people please more. Or you're going to self-sabotage when in a good relationship with the person that actually is good for you and secure. You're going to self-sabotage because you're like, I'm worthless, I don't deserve this, blah, 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 blah. You're going to ruin it. And that's why the relationship over time doesn't work, because you start acting up. You start picking fights and having arguments with them that you didn't even need to have, because you don't feel good about yourself. It's not about the other person, it's about you. And like I said before, it can also be them. Or both of you can have messed up self-concepts, and it's playing out in the relationship. A lot of people don't realize that when they get into relationships, that's also when these traumas are going to come out, which is another part of the baggage, is that whatever trauma they have on the inside, the childhood trauma, it's going to play out in the relationships. That's why a lot of times people will say that it's like we're dating our parents. And you'll be in this relationship with someone and they'll be acting out unresolved traumas from childhood, and they'll be acting out in ways to get your love and attention or lack thereof. And we have to be able to notice that. And I feel like the way to kind of get out of that pattern with people attracting narcissists and being in a bad relationship and then like having those unnecessary arguments is that both of you have to be actively working through those traumas together, working through those issues together. But if you're not both operating in that energy together, you're going to separate, because spiritually you guys aren't on the same level and you're not doing the same thing. And it makes sense, like law of attraction states, like attracts like. So if you guys are no longer alike and you guys are no longer on the same frequency or energy, 3 months into that relationship, it might fall apart. 2 years into that relationship, it might fall apart. Something happens in someone's life, like a trauma, or something happens like a death in the family, and their vibration is constantly on a different level than yours. That relationship might end. It doesn't mean that it needs to end, but a lot of the reasons why your relationship might end is because the person's trauma, the person is not on the same energy you are. You guys are not matching energy. Energy is subtle. It can't physically be seen with the conscious eyes. It only can be understood with the spiritual eyes. And once you're no longer alike and that lasts repeatedly and over a long time, it's just not going to work out. And that's something that we have to be able to acknowledge and understand, that maybe we're just not on the same energy. We don't match vibes. To even put it in a different way, you got to think of it like the relationships amongst animals, right? When you're in a mutual beneficial relationship in the animal kingdom, you are both benefiting from this. You both are on the same level. You have an equal exchange, and everything is good on that level. And that's how relationships should be. They should be an equal exchange of energy, of, time and love and all that stuff. But what happens in a lot of people's relationships is that if one person is doing better than the other, the one person has more to offer, it starts to become parasitic, where one partner, your partner, may be relying on you for your energy, your love, your time, your validation. And then that's when you start getting mistreated, and the relationship also doesn't work out, because you have to notice that. You have to notice that shift. Did we start off mutual and then it switched to parasitic, where they're relying on me? Or was it always parasitic since the start, where they're relying on me for everything and I need to supply? And if I don't supply, I'm getting like, this person is mad at me, or the relationship isn't working. The relationship's only working when I'm supplying something. That's why a lot of times with certain people, I recommend to like friends, like, stop having sex with that person for a minute. Let's see if they keep dealing with you. Because if it's parasitic and they're relying on you for something, that validation, that can often come from sex. Stop having sex with them for a while. Let's see if they still treat you the same. Let's see if the relationship is still working. Let's see if it's still functional. Or whatever it is you feel like they're gaining from you, like a plus from you, you need to sometimes take these things away so that you can see, like, does this relationship work unless I'm the only one supplying? Now, if you both are supplying something that you both equally like and enjoy, then that's different. But if you're supplying more, or you're the only one supplying something on a consistent demand, then there's something off in that relationship, and it eventually will end because it's not balanced. Another thing that I see a lot, and this is what I really get from watching my favorite show in the world, which is Iyanla Fix My Life, is that people don't tell the truth. And that's why a lot of times relationships don't work out. It's not just about like cheating and stuff like that. Meaning, like, if you feel worthless, like I said earlier, that self-concept, sometimes you do need to tell your partner that, but you also need to be like, okay, how can we work on this? Or is there a way that you could support me through this as I work on this? I don't feel so good about myself right now, or I don't feel good about life right now. I want to figure out a way to work on this. Or I have this trauma from childhood I never told you about, and it's constantly affecting the way I'm treating you, and it hurts me to keep this in, so I have to tell you about it. Tell the truth. Be vulnerable. That's the problem. Like, how are you with somebody, sleeping with somebody, and you're not vulnerable with them? You have to be vulnerable with each other. If you trust this person and you feel like, they deserve the truth from you, give them that. Give them the truth. Because when you both give each other the truth, you're able to fully see each other. Sometimes your spiritual eyes are underdeveloped. You're not going to see stuff. So if you're not intuitively already picking up on stuff, you got to communicate. And you should communicate either way. And when you communicate, you can really see each other. And then you both are operating on an honest level where you both can treat each other in the way that will suit both of your needs. Like, if you're not fully telling the person your truth that you're dating and you're with, how can they supply your needs? And vice versa. And it's like, the relationship is inevitably going to end because nobody's needs are being taken care of. There is no mutualism. Nobody's being taken care of. And that can only happen when your needs are met. And then also, too, when it comes to true intimacy and feeling intimacy emotionally amongst you and your partner, you need honesty. Because you need those walls that are around their heart and around their mind to be broken so you can be lit in, so you can be really close to them. That can only happen through true honesty. And some people are not even self-aware enough to give you their honesty, and you need to be able to see that too. If the person cannot see their own traumas and they're not working on those traumas and they don't know about them really, but you're seeing it and you bring it up and then they dismiss it, you can't be with that person. Because if they're not excavating, going deep within themselves to clear out that stuff, but you see it coming out in their behavior, it's not gonna work. Because if you're working on yourself, because you cannot work on yourself so much, just you, to fix and carry the whole relationship. It doesn't work like that. I see so many people doing that, and that's something that am like really bad at doing as well. It's like I'm so focused on my self-improvement and growth that I dismiss the fact that this person's not also doing the same thing. And I can try to convince them sometimes. They may do little things here and there, but you need somebody as serious they are about having fun with you. You need somebody that's very serious about their own self-development so they can treat you better and have a better relationship with you. Having the fun parts of relationships is the stuff that's glorified on social media. What's not glorified is the traumas, the shadows, the therapy, the healing, the crying, the anger, the getting all of those crazy part of our human consciousness out so that we can have better relationships. And that's something that you have to be able to notice, especially if it's a pattern in the relationships that you're having. I'm saying all that to say is just communication is really important in relationships, self-awareness, you being aware of the other person, but also aware of yourself. And also, I really believe in like monthly check-ins or just like talking regularly with your partner about where you're at. You know, like even when you're in a business, you have to have meetings to figure out what is currently going on in the company. Is the business doing well? What should happen in production in the future? You know, you need to be able to come together and figure out, what are we doing here? What are we building? Because you and your partner together are building like this foundation, and you're building this like structure, this building together. And if this building is being built with two different materials, you're building with Legos, your partner's building with brick, it's not going to be a stable foundation. You need to be able to meet and come together and agree on an action plan of what you both want to do together. But you have to do that regularly. You can't do that once a year or every other year. You guys have to meet regularly, talking about, what are we doing? What's the direction between us? Like, how do you feel right now about yourself and about me? And then how do I feel about myself and how do I feel about you? And you have to both be honest and be able to do that regularly. And I believe the relationship could work. Even if you guys aren't on the same level, you definitely can match levels. You definitely can. What you just don't want to happen is someone being brought down, because that's what's going to cause a lot of issues. You want to be able to raise somebody up to your level and do it without judgment. Do it with real love. And real love doesn't include judgment. It just includes, you know, either I'm going to be here for you and support you to this level, or I'm going to love you but separate from you. And there's really no judgment in either of those paths. So with that being said, with all this rambling, I hope that I was able to help in some way, and you're able to see that relationships are deeper than what they seem. And there are these subtle dynamics that you have to be aware of before you get into a relationship, and then be able to act accordingly. So with that being said, my name is Tabari, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you later.